All right, so welcome to lesson 5.2. We're going to use what we did yesterday and make the graphs. It's really just a sort of obvious extension of what we did yesterday or in the last lesson. All right, so you have to, first thing you do, we're going to find the x and y intercepts. As I said yesterday, I'm always going to do the y-intercept first and the x-intercept second. Right, and how do we do that? For the y-intercept, the x-coordinate will be 0, right? We put a 0 where that x is, and that x is the x-coordinate. That crosses out because 3 times 0 is 0, and we get 0 minus 4y equals 12. We're going to divide both sides by -4. Y equals -3. Don't forget the last step. The y-intercept is 0, -3. Then for the x-intercept, we make the y-coordinate 0. And so that just crosses out very nicely. And we're going to do, that's 3x equals 12. Divide both sides by 3. X equals 4. And the x-intercept is 4, 0. So now in your homework, you're going to take what you learned how to do yesterday, and you're going to put the y-intercept on the y-axis, right? And you're going to put the x-intercept on the x-axis. And then, how many different lines can we draw through those points? Can we draw an infinite amount? We can draw an infinite amount of lines through that point and an infinite amount of lines through that point. But how many lines go through both of them? Turns out only one, the one we need. All right. And so we want to make a nice long line through there. Remember, right? We're trying to show all the points on this linear. This is a linear function still. What form was this in? What form was this in? You better have memorized this. It is in standard form. Anytime we have anything that looks like ax plus by equals c, that is standard form. And when we want to graph standard form, this turns out to be the quickest way, finding the x and y intercepts. So how many different lines can pass through the 2 points? One, this one. 3x minus 4y equals 12. No other line passes through. Okay. Oh, and please, on your homework, you can, show that this is the x-intercept. I'll let you abbreviate. Oh, and that is the y-intercept. You can abbreviate. So the x-intercept is what? 4, 0, and 0, -3. Okay. Oh, I had already graphed it. Okay, so what's the one on the left? You hopefully all said, oh, slope-intercept, right? When we have slope-intercept, we immediately can see the y-intercept, 0, 2, and we can see the slope, right? In this one, it's called what? Standard, right? In standard form, notice these are the same line, by the way. These are both the exact same line. And right, you can see the 2 and the 5, maybe how they made -2/5, but you can't really see the slope, especially this one, especially ones that would need simplifying and a little more work. So this is standard form, and so you can't see the slope. And notice you can't see that this too has nothing to do with the y-intercept really. So you can't see the y-intercept either. So that's why we do that whole business of finding the intercepts for standard form. All right. So, right, we're finding the intercepts because they're the quickest one to find. But there is only, if you plot the point 5, 7 and the point 2, -8, there is only one line that passes through those 2 points. Right? If you have the 2 points -9, -1, and 2, 8, those aren't intercepts, right? They're not intercepts. They're not on the y-axis, but they are the only 2 points. Those 2 points define that line. If you have 2 points, you can figure out every point on that line. Right now we can say, oh, it looks like that's a point and that's a point, and we can actually figure out the equation, and we can figure out all the other points because there's many with decimals and fractions, and there's ones that with -1000 in them. There are an infinite amount of points, but all you need is 2 of them. The 2 easiest ones to find are always the intercepts, but we're not there yet. So I want to drill this into you because I've been teaching this for a lot of years and people find the intercepts and they don't really know why they're finding the intercepts. You're finding the intercepts because those are the easiest 2 points to find. And they're the easiest 2 to graph because they're always on the X and Y axis. But you can do it with any 2 points. So let's do it the hard way intentionally just to show you why you find the intercept. So we're going to do X equals 3, right? So you do 4, right? Instead of having a nice 0 there, we've got a 3. Well, that makes our work harder, right? Makes our work harder. But we're going to do it the hard way just to make a point. 4 times 3 is 12. So to get rid of that, I'm going to subtract 12. I'm skipping a little bit there, right? 4 times 3 is 12. To get rid of 12, you subtract 12 from both sides. We get negative 3y equals 12. Divide both sides by negative 3. Y equals negative 4. But that's not a y-intercept. I didn't put a 0 there. That's the point 3, negative 4. 3, negative 4. So we could do it that way. We could find a point. We could find any point we want. I found 3, negative 4. All right. Now we're going to put y equals 4 in there. So we're going to put 4x minus 3 times 4 equals 24. All right. So I put a 4 for y in there. Last time I put a 3 for x. So this is 12 again, but so we're going to get rid of that by adding 12, right? And you get 4x equals 36. Divide by 4. X equals 9, and so that's the point 9, 4. So 9, 4 is right there. I found 2 points. They weren't the intercepts, and I could draw a line through them. All right. But, you know, I'm an expert at that. That still took me way longer than if I just said 4 times 0 minus 3y equals 24, right? Divide both sides by negative 3, y equals negative 8. 0, negative 8 is the y-intercept. Boom. There it is. And then 4x minus 3 times 0 equals 24. Those cross out. Divide both sides by 4. X equals 6. 6, 0. There it is the x-intercept, right? You're doing this because it's faster. But you can do any point. You can find, oh, I want to know what this point is here when x equals 2. It looks like it's 2, 5, and you could put the math, 2 and 5 in there and see if it works. If it works, it was on the line. If it doesn't work, it's not. That's how this all goes. Okay, so x and y intercepts are the easiest to plot. Let's make sure we all can plot 11, 0. Yeah, it's off the grid. And there's 0, negative 4. And you draw a straight line through it. Right? Can we plot negative 3.5, 0? Right, there's negative 3. Negative 3.5 is halfway between negative 3 and negative 4, right? Because it's another half past negative 3, negative 3.5. Okay, and 0, negative 8 is there. Those are the intercepts. And once you find them, you can plot the one and only line that goes between them. But you're using the intercepts because they have the easiest math to find. No other good reason. All right, so this is what your homework's like. There's the y-intercept. So for the y-intercept, you make x equal to 0. For the x-intercept, you make y equal to 0. And so x equals 12. That means 12, 0. Yes, you can plot 12, 0. There's 11, 0. There's 12, 0 over there. Now please, again, we found the two easiest points. But there's a point right there. All right, looks like that's the point, -5, 4. Maybe you're wondering, it looks like that's on the line. But maybe I was a little off. Maybe it's a -5.1 or what something. Let's check it. All right, so the x coordinate was -5, the y coordinate was 4, and if that point's on the line, then that math will come out true. If that point is not on the line, it will not come out true. Well, 4 times -5 is -20, 2 times 4 is 8. Yeah, -20 plus 8 equals -12. That point is on the line. You take some random point over here and put those numbers, like, 7, 4 in there. 7, 4 will not make any of that come out as true. It'll come out as false. It's not on the line. So this one is here, again, just so you practice putting in fractions, right? Normally, -9/2 is allowed, but -9/2 is hard to plot. But -4.5 is halfway past -4, below it, toward -5. Oops, so y is 0 here. Halfway between 4 and 5. It was a little sloppy there. All right, so evaluate the equation for x equals 4. All right, x equals 4 is right there. All right, it's below the x-axis. So let's see that. So that means x coordinate equals 4. So let's see that. And 8 minus 2y equals 9. Subtract 8 from both sides. -2y equals 1. Divide by -2. And you get y equals -1/2. So this is the point 4, -1/2. It's not an intercept because x is 4, y is -1/2. Yeah, that's what this point is right there. I put in red. It's 4, the point, but the y coordinate is -1/2. It's halfway between 0 and -1. So y-intercept, that's slope-intercept. So I'm not going to do any work. I'm going to just plot 0, -8. Now, if you do the work, it will work out. For the x-intercept, I make y equal to 0. Solve the equation. So 4, 0 is the x-intercept. Now, we also realize the slope here is 2, right? Because that's in slope-intercept. So let's see how it works. Slope is 2. 1 over 1 up 2. Over 1 up 2. Over 1 up 2. Yep, there it is. I got figured out the x-intercept that way rather than using the math. But using the math is definitely more accurate and less prone to mistakes, I think. Right? That linear function has a slope of 2. It has a y-intercept of 0, -8. It has an x-intercept of 4, 0. There's going to be questions on the test where you label all these things. This has the x-intercept, this is the y-intercept, and that has the slope. All right, practice. All right, divide both sides by -1 there. All right, so I'm going to find when y is 3. When y is 3, all right, that's this point right here. We'll see how sloppy it doesn't look like a very good point. Let's see if I was really sloppy or something. Let's see. Add 3 to both sides. So 5x equals 13. Divide by 5. Well, what's that? Ugh, that's 2 2/5? Yeah. So when x is 2 2/5, y is 3, right? So that's what this point is here, right? X is 2 2/5 the way to 3, right? Right? But this is why you do the intercepts. You want to avoid all that. All right, so no leaving at 10/4, right? So that's 5/2. No leaving at 5/2 because you have to graph it, 0, 2 1/2. So halfway between 2 and 3. And then the x-intercept, I was a little slow. Let me neaten things up here, going too fast. So there are our intercepts. Thank you. Do your homework.